though, we're going to be talking about cosplaying, and in particular, the Pacific Northwest Guild of Cosplayers. So Portland, FanFest Portland actually happened just a little bit, about a couple weeks ago. And we were out there at that, taking a look at everything and just enjoying, the general convention that it is. But something that you always see at these conventions are really elaborate, immaculate cosplayers. The costumes are amazing, and that certainly includes the Pacific Northwest Guild of Cosplayers and their costumes and the group that they have. They have over 1,200 members. It stretches from Southern Oregon to BC, and we wanted to talk to a couple of them just about their experience and about, leading up to this con. This particular one's already happened, but I think it's the general kind of theme for most of these cons that go on. And so we had two of them here in studio to join us to talk about their costumes, how they got into it, and what they really enjoy about being cosplayers and part of the Guild of Cosplayers. So we'll start off here with Mama Samu. That was my first interview, and we'll go from there. Pacific Northwest Cosplay Guild. Tell me about this for anybody who doesn't know what that is.
We are a guild, a community built of cosplayers from the Southern Oregon all the way up to Canada, Idaho, even, and I believe you have people in Hawaii as well now.
Wow.
So Pacific Northwest Guild, just a community to come together, find fellows in the area, people to get together and craft, talk about fandoms, go to conventions with, have, a buddy to go with, someone who you can trust when you're kind of going into a new space. So.
That's great. So I mean, for people out there, maybe they like to cosplay on their own, but they don't have any friends that are doing that, or
exactly, or they're new to the community or heard about cosplay and like, what is that? I want to check it out. The Guild offers a really nice way to introduce yourself, and so you can go to your first convention already with a community, as opposed to kind of being a lone fish, which I did do back when I was a wee lass in 2006.
2006, that's when you started.
2006, yeah.
Yeah, and still doing that. Well, I mean, started young, so
yeah.
it's part of your life, really, at this point.
Absolutely. Yeah. I've been doing it for over half of my life, so it means the world to me, and it's taught me so many skills. Like, I made everything that I'm wearing, and that's not something I would have been able to fathom back when I started.
So you talk about, you're in this community. There are newer people who are joining this, who are just finding out about it or just wanted to go and check it out. So when they go, say, to like the FanExpo that's coming up, what would you recommend to a first-time cosplayer attending an event like that? I
would recommend, if you want to attend as a cosplayer, find something comfortable, some casual cosplay, like go to Goodwill, find, pieces that you can throw together. Go with a buddy and just go talk to people. If you see a costume that you like, go compliment them. If you go to panels, interact and just don't be afraid to be yourself, because it's a really welcoming space.
Well, for something like this, when you're at the convention, I know part of what you do too is help people out with costumes. Mm-hmm. Like, say if there's an emergency. Exactly. Something happens.
Yeah, the Guild actually has cosplay repair stations all the time. Like, if there's a lot of conventions, if you're in the Pacific Northwest, the Guild tends to have cosplay repair booths where they have hot glue guns and needle and thread and super glue and people who know how to use them and who will help you repair things. Like, even they help during competitions. Even people who are right before competing, accidents happen. I had someone trip and had their armor piece break right before they were on their way to judging, and they were able to go and get just temporary hot glued real quick beforehand. So there are a lot of helpful people, and I've also seen at other cons there are individuals who will make bandoliers out of thread and make it into a character, and it's the most beautiful thing ever, because that is someone who's spending their time to do something good for their community. And it makes me happy.
What do you think is the biggest misconception that people might have about cosplayers?
That we're some kind of elitist group, or that we're, I don't know, since the jocks picked on us in high school, we want to pick on them now. It's like, no, join us, please. We want there to be more of us. We want to see more cosplay, more people having fun with cosplay. It's called cosplay for a reason.
Yeah.
Why do we have to stop playing pretend when we're kids? And also, we're not kids. We're not trying to be kids. We're adults who don't want to stop having an imagination.
Yeah. and you put all this work in, you got to show this off to people.
Exactly, and like legitimately, I have a job because of the skills that I learned in cosplay. I work as a sewist now. I pay my rent with my cosplay skills now.
Wow.
So.
And then you get to go out and enjoy it and go to these things.
Exactly.
And, yeah, hang out with your crew. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here. Well, Jupiter, thanks for sitting down with me here to talk about this. You know, I have a question for you. How did you get into cosplaying to begin with?
I got into cosplay. I went to school for theater and worked a lot in the costume shop and graduated and kind of was like, I don't know what to do now. And I ended up going to my first convention. Not long after I graduated. I had been very into nerd culture before that, but just somehow had never been to a convention. And I saw all these people in costumes and ended up talking to them a little bit. And I was like, I did not even realize that it was an option to just make costumes for myself and not for a show in the theater. And I thought, I want to do that. I want to be my favorite characters and look cool. And started making costumes and never really looked back.
Wow, and so use that experience that you already had, so you probably had a leg up on some other people maybe when it comes to making them.
Maybe a little bit, but it's very big in the cosplay community that even those of us who have lots of experience are like, we'll say, everyone starts somewhere, and if you need help, you can come to me. And I'm very big about that, about sharing what I've learned through trial and error, both from working in the theater and also just on my own. And I will be more than happy to sit down and talk to somebody when they're trying to do a build.
And so, you know, when you talk about that for somebody who's starting out, you know, looking for guidance and advice, obviously they can come ask you, but I know there's other ways too that somebody can come and learn more about maybe the basics of cosplay.
Yeah, so at every convention there are panels, and there's always cosplay panels, and some of them will be very broad, like sometimes there's intro to cosplay, sometimes there's intro to foam fabrication, intro to sewing, and then sometimes you get more of like the advanced things, like let's talk specifically about 3D printing, let's talk specifically about wig work. And the Guild actually has a couple panels, but there are a ton of other ones that the community puts on as well outside of the Guild. So if you're looking to get started in cosplay or looking to learn more, I would 100% check out the panels at conventions.
Because there is so much going on at these, you know, if somebody has maybe some social anxiety, which can definitely happen when there's all that, you know, it's a lot. But it seems like the community as a whole, whether it's somebody in cosplay or an artist, it seems like a general theme that I'm understanding is that people are approachable.
Yes.
And that you can go talk to somebody.
100%.
So if somebody's going through that, what would you recommend they?
So with the Pacific Northwest Guild of Cosplayers and our presence at conventions, we have something that we call the Cospitality Lounge, which is kind of a quiet space. There are changing rooms if you want to take off bits of your costume. There are tables, we have like coloring books. It's just kind of a quiet space. Being in a costume for some people can sometimes feel a little overwhelming. Like, I love being in costume, but sometimes when I've been in costume for like 6 hours, I'm like, I need to go sit down. I need to eat something. I need to be away. And so it's a nice space to be able to go and sit. No one's going to be asking for pictures in there. That's sometimes like if you're sitting out on the floor, sometimes people are really excited to see you and they're like, oh, can I get a picture? And you're in the middle of eating a chicken strip. And so that's what I would recommend, is find that quiet space. And then sometimes even if you can't make it to the Hospitality Lounge, there are areas in the convention center that can be quieter. But definitely taking the moment to like step away. Like, you don't have to be in the excitement. I know that like most people, they're at the convention and they want to be in it every second. But it's okay to take a step back and relax for a bit.
So when we talk about, you know, go to these cons and the sense of community, which again seems to be an overall theme there. It's enjoyment of the costume, but also that sense of community. Like, what does it mean to you to be able to have this as part of your life and something that you can go and be a part of?
It means the absolute world. There are people that I met 8 years ago that I met at conventions that are now lifelong friends. I've gone to people's weddings. I've traveled out of the country to go visit some of the friends that I have met. It's not only about building the community locally, and it's about taking us outside of the convention as well, to be able to make those lifelong friendships, to have those opportunities to hang out. Because sometimes at a convention, it's like you're running through the halls, someone's going to a panel, someone's going to a photo op, and you're like, hi, and that's all you get. But for me, the really special thing is the people that I've been able to meet, that we have expanded outside of the conventions. It's really the people. For me,
Yeah.
it's the people that I've met doing this.
After the convention's over, then going out and hanging out.
Yeah, exactly. There's always like, dinner, karaoke, all sorts of things. But it's really important to me that like, I don't just see these people at cons. I see them in real life too.
Yeah. Well, any final thing that you would think, that people should know about coming to the expo, interacting, maybe with the Pacific Northwest Cosplay Guild in general?
Just have fun. Like the cosplay community in particular, we're all about just having fun. Again, cosplay. It's about having fun. Don't be afraid to approach people, to talk to them about the characters that you love, the shows that you love, and just really enjoy it. Make sure you walk through Artist Alley, make sure you walk through the exhibitor hall, support the artists and the vendors in there because they're all amazing. Yeah, just
go have fun.
Yeah, just go have fun.
Just go have fun. That is the theme right there. And really appreciate both of them coming in for that. And thank you to the Pacific Northwest Guild of Cosplayers for being very welcoming when we went up there to FanFest. It was a lot of fun. And you can check out more information about them on their website. Thank you to Anne for filming and editing that one as well and putting that together for us. And thanks to all of you for watching this show. So again, we are live here at the Fox 12 Oregon newsroom. And obviously we get to go out of the studio sometimes as well. So if you have an idea for an event or a segment or something you'd like to see covered, feel free to send me an email. That's fox12now, fox12now at kptv.com. And maybe we can do something. Can't guarantee it every time, but sometimes we can. So please feel free to send in that email. And again, thank you for watching. I'll talk to you soon. I'm Greg Nibbler. This is Fox 12 Now.